take a second, scroll through your feed right now.
Yeah, just take a look.
It is 2026, and AI is everywhere, but we are honestly drowning right now.
Oh, totally. It is just a sea of identical Canva templates.
Lifeless lists are literally everywhere. The 5 things you didn't know format is exhausted.
Mm-hmm. It feels completely hollow.
It really does. Welcome to the deep dive. We have a very clear mission today.
We are unpacking Max Ann's latest guide.
Right. It explores a 3-level brand system. Specifically, it focuses on Instagram carousels.
It is a brilliant strategy for creators.
We're going to explore why carousels dominate the algorithm. Then we will look at using Claude properly.
Yeah, as a true narrative engine, not just a basic chatbot.
Exactly. After that, we cover custom visuals. That is where Nano Banana comes into play.
And finally, we talk about scalability. You really want to scale without losing your brand's unique soul.
That is the ultimate goal. So let us jump right into segment 1.
Carousels are absolutely dominating the landscape right now. The engagement advantage is incredibly real.
I mean, you see them everywhere.
Right. Carousel engagement is up more than 30%. That is compared directly to single image posts.
That is a massive jump. The algorithm really seems to love them.
It does, and there is a clear psychological reason. Every single swipe signals immense value.
Mm-hmm. It is a micro-commitment from you.
Exactly. It gives the algorithm multiple distinct data points. It registers your active dwell time.
So it knows you are actually paying attention.
Right. Then it re-shows your content to similar users. But there is also this Reels hybrid trick.
Oh, yeah. Many creators completely miss this detail.
It changes the discovery mechanics entirely.
You are talking about adding music to the carousel.
Yes. When you attach a trending audio track, everything changes. Instagram basically shifts its behavior.
How does that actually work behind the scenes?
Well, the platform's audio graph maps that music. It essentially classifies the carousel as a reel.
Oh, wow. So it pushes your posts through the Reels feed.
Precisely. You get that massive Reels level discovery. Your reach explodes past your existing followers.
But you still keep that dense educational format.
Exactly. Readers have to slow down and swipe. It builds deep trust over time.
It naturally drives saves and follows. A 7-slide carousel builds credibility incredibly fast.
It honestly works way better than a long caption.
Yeah, it establishes a strong personal brand quickly. But you need a reliable system to build them.
And that brings us directly to Claude. Most people use Claude completely wrong today.
They really do. They treat it like a basic word processor.
Mm-hmm. They type in a simple generic prompt. They ask the AI for a few quick ideas.
And the results are usually just average at best. Then they feel disappointed and blame the tool.
Because Claude is not just a simple writer. It is a powerful structural thinker.
Right. When you feed it a raw YouTube script, it reads deeply. It actually looks for the underlying narrative arc.
It deeply understands creative intent. It gives each individual slide a highly specific job.
It maps out the psychology of the reader.
Exactly. You get a strong visual hook first. Then you intentionally build narrative tension.
You provide a clear, logical explanation next.
Right. Then you deliver a highly satisfying payoff. Finally, you end with a strong call to action.
It acts more like a senior thinking partner. Treating Claude like a simple chatbot is a huge mistake.
Oh, completely.
It is like using a supercomputer as a pocket calculator.
That is a perfect way to frame it.
I mean, a calculator just does basic, rigid math. But a supercomputer actually predicts complex weather systems.
Asking Claude for 3 tips is just basic math.
Yeah. But asking it to build a narrative journey changes everything. You unlock its actual potential that way.
Mm-hmm. It is a completely different tier of output.
But why is understanding this narrative intent so critical? Why is it needed for a simple 7-slide social media post?
Because a carousel cannot just be random text. People have incredibly short attention spans today.
Right. A post must carefully guide a viewer forward.
You have to move them from initial curiosity to deep understanding. Then you strategically drive them to take action.
That psychological journey is what actually stops the scroll.
Without true intent, people just swipe away immediately.
Ah, I see. So it builds a journey from curiosity to action, not just text on slides.
Exactly. That brings us directly to level 1.
This is the basic workflow everyone starts with. It focuses strictly on pure, raw speed.
You paste a raw script into Claude. You ask it to restructure the text entirely.
And it creates a complete carousel sequence for you.
Yeah, it is a very fast process. It easily saves you half an hour of manual work.
The slides usually flow quite well together.
The core message is generally clear. But there is a major limitation here.
The result is completely generic.
Yes, unfortunately.
Hey,
It
that's
looks
it.
exactly like every other AI post out there.
It completely lacks a unique identity. It just feels sterile.
Mm-hmm. It lacks soul.
I know that exact feeling so well. I still wrestle with prompt drift myself.
Oh, really?
Yeah, my AI outputs start sounding like a robot over time. The words get rigid and overly formal.
It gets incredibly frustrating to read.
It really does. You lose your own voice.
It happens to absolutely everyone. That is exactly why level 2 is so important.
You need to add a comprehensive brand system.
Yes. This single step changes everything about the output.
What actually goes into a brand system document?
It is surprisingly simple to put together. It is just a 1 or 2 page text document.
Okay, so it is pretty brief.
Yeah. You list your specific brand colors and hex codes. You clearly define your typography direction.
You deeply describe your target audience too.
Right. You outline your specific brand voice. Is it highly casual? Is it highly authoritative?
You also set strict creative rules, like explicitly telling it to use absolutely no jargon.
Or forcing it to keep sentences very short.
So you upload this document into a dedicated Claude project.
Then you run the exact same task again. The shift in quality is immediate and obvious.
Claude now actually proposes a slide structure first.
Yes. It acts like a true editorial workflow. It stops just generating blind text.
You review the logical flow before design is locked.
Exactly. You can actively shape the ideas early on. Real content teams work exactly this way in agencies.
There is a vital quote from the text here. I love this one.
Which one?
Branding is not decoration, it is guidance.
Oh, that is such a good line.
That is a powerful mental shift. You are not just decorating generated content anymore.
Right. You are actively editing underlying ideas.
It stops being a mere generation tool. It becomes a customized creative system.
It operates perfectly within your specific bounding box.
But how does a simple one-page text document change things? How does it alter the AI's behavior so drastically?
It comes down to the garbage in, garbage out principle.
Right.
Giving clear context deeply grounds the AI model. It anchors the AI in your specific communication style.
It effectively narrows the universe of possible answers.
Exactly. Without context, the model just guesses wildly from its training data.
Garbage in, garbage out. Clear context turns a generic tool into your personal editor.
Precisely. Let us move on to level 3 now.
We need to talk about custom visuals.
Yes, visuals are huge.
So we fixed the generic text issue. We gave Claude a strong brand document.
But text is only half the battle on Instagram.
If your background images still look like cheap AI art, people just scroll past.
They absolutely will.
How do we make the visuals match that new editorial standard?
That is where Nano Banana enters the picture. It is chosen for a very specific reason.
Nano Banana has unusually strong text rendering capabilities.
Yes, that is absolutely crucial for visual carousels. You need highly readable, crisp headlines.
They have to sit right on top of complex visual backgrounds.
Right. Most image generators completely mangle text overlays. They just turn into gibberish.
Nano Banana handles those custom visual assets beautifully.
It does. But Claude is still running the entire show here.
Claude acts as your dedicated art director.
Right. You do not just prompt Nano Banana blindly. You upload custom reference images directly to the Claude project.
Claude analyzes their underlying emotional tone.
Exactly. Then it selects the absolute best image for each slide.
It bases this crucial selection on narrative energy. That concept completely changes how we view AI visuals.
It really is a game changer.
But how does it actually analyze emotional tone?
Claude actually looks at the raw visual composition. It reads the metadata of the image itself.
So it registers that a photo has high contrast and deep shadows.
It specifically identifies that as high tension. Then it perfectly pairs that dark image with an aggressive hook.
Most AI carousels fail because of random images. You might have a truly beautiful generated photo,
But it conflicts entirely with the written text.
a calm, sunny image on a punchy slide feels totally disconnected. The viewer feels that subtle friction instantly.
Narrative energy fixes that exact problem. A hook slide needs very high visual tension.
It has to break the user's scrolling pattern.
Strong contrast works perfectly for a loud call to action. Calm, muted visuals naturally support complex data points. Beat.
But how do we actually prompt Nano Banana effectively? Do we just type in what we want?
No, you use the reference image trick. You do not ever start from scratch.
You drop an image you absolutely love into Claude.
Right. Claude meticulously analyzes the entire composition. It describes the specific style, the framing, and the exact lighting.
Claude essentially acts as a prompt engineer. That is someone who writes precise instructions for AI.
Exactly. You get a highly structured, professional prompt. You paste it directly into Nano Banana.
It completely removes all the frustrating manual guesswork.
It saves so much time.
There are two distinct versions of the tool to consider. The guide mentions Nano Banana Pro and Nano Banana 2.
Nano Banana Pro handles very complex visual scenes. It is built natively on Gemini 3 Pro.
It offers extremely high visual precision.
It is best used for intricate details and complex lighting.
But Nano Banana 2 is much faster to use.
Yes, it is built on Gemini 3.1 Flash. It runs 2 to 3 times faster overall.
It is also significantly cheaper to use daily.
Right. It is the absolute best default for everyday content. You save Pro for moments requiring maximum visual quality.
But I have to ask a structural question here. Why go through Claude at all here? Why not just write prompts directly into Nano Banana?
Manual prompting causes massive stylistic inconsistencies. Every single prompt you write starts slightly differently.
Human error naturally creeps into the process.
Exactly. The results rarely match perfectly across a full carousel. Claude provides a reliable, reusable prompt generation layer.
It perfectly matches your established visual styles every single time.
It keeps you on brand.
Starting from scratch causes inconsistencies. Claude guarantees stylistic matching across the whole carousel.
That is exactly it.
We are going to take a really quick break right here.
Stick around.
Sponsor read placeholder. And we're back. We have covered text, we have covered visuals. Let us talk about scaling this entire process safely.
Scalability is all about effectively using Claude projects.
Right. Without projects, you essentially start from zero every single time.
You have to re-explain your entire brand repeatedly. It is exhausting.
That significantly slows you down every day. It makes the final output much less consistent overall.
Projects change that operational dynamic entirely. They safely store your specific brand guidelines permanently.
They hold your entire visual image library. They keep your winning prompt structures ready to go.
There is also this fascinating concept called the skill layer.
Frequent instructions literally become reusable AI skills.
Right. They activate automatically whenever they are needed. Strict formatting rules just live there permanently.
Specific brand voice instructions are just always on. It is honestly like stacking Lego blocks of data.
That is a great way to visualize it.
Think about how we usually use AI right now. It is like melting down raw plastic.
Yes, starting from absolute scratch.
You have to mold a completely new Lego brick every single time you want to build a simple wall.
It is wildly inefficient.
But with Claude projects, you prefabricate those blocks. Your brand voice is a permanent block.
Your color palette is a stored block.
You build a strong foundation once, and then you just get to play. Everything builds smoothly upon the last session.
The guide also provides some very practical execution tips. First, always design your carousels in 1080 by 1350.
That is the specific 4:5 vertical aspect ratio.
Yes. It maximizes vertical screen space on mobile phones. It completely fills the viewer's screen.
It increases viewer attention and retention significantly.
Also, keep your carousels perfectly between 7 and 10 slides.
Why that specific number?
It gives enough depth to provide real value, but it avoids losing viewers halfway through the sequence.
It is the absolute sweet spot for completion rates.
And you should always batch create your images. Generate 20 to 30 images in one focus session.
You build a cohesive visual library very quickly that way.
But the really exciting part is the automation horizon. The future of this brand system is fully automated.
You can actually use Claude connectors to Google Drive.
Right. It automatically pulls in fresh content and visual assets. You drop a script in a folder and it activates.
No more tedious manual uploads every day.
And future versions could tightly integrate Claude Code directly. You get a completely seamless automated content pipeline.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Go.
2-sec silence. Imagine an entirely automated pipeline building branded content while you sleep.
It is a truly wild thought to process, but I have to push back here a little bit.
Okay, go for it.
Does relying on this deep skill layer and heavy automation eventually kill a creator's unique voice?
It is a common worry.
Do we just become robots eventually?
It is a very valid fear, but the exact opposite is actually true here.
Oh, so.
The system runs entirely on your specific brand documents. It strictly uses your personal visual choices and rules.
Because it is highly tailored to you, it actually scales your authenticity.
Exactly. It actively prevents your content from becoming diluted over time.
So storing your strategy means the AI scales your authentic voice, not a generic one.
That is the overarching lesson of this entire guide. You have to stop asking AI for isolated, single posts.
A random prompt always gives you a random result.
You need to start building a reliable, repeatable system. Claude capably handles the deep structural thinking.
It manages the editorial logic and the narrative structure,
Nano cleanly handles all the complex visual assets.
and your customized brand system holds it all securely together. Pure speed and deep creative intention can absolutely coexist.
You do not ever have to sacrifice quality just to move faster. Level 1 gives you sheer, raw speed.
Level 2 gives you deep, reliable consistency.
Level 3 gives you a truly unique visual identity.
This is definitely not a cheap creator shortcut. It is a fundamentally smarter way to work daily.
It is a true creative operating system for modern creators.
It really is.
You should be.
We've covered a massive amount of ground today. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It has been a fun one.
But before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought. You spend all this focused time building the perfect engine. If you successfully build an AI system that perfectly executes your brand's established visual and written rules, what happens when you genuinely want to evolve? How do you effectively teach a perfectly compliant system to take a massive creative risk and intentionally break its own rules?